What's up, you guys? Today we're back at the Gardens playing 5-5-10 in the home court. Let's go. Cheers.
With the guy Brantzen, who has the Brantzen poker logs.
No! Let's go. Let's go.
Tell him he's got a lot of class, and it's all low.
I'm playing 5-5-10. I'm in for $1,000, but as you can see, this is not $1,000. Between missed flops and bomb pots, I'm down to around 600 in the first hour, but then I pick up Queen 7 in a bomb pot. The flop is 7-6-3, 2 hearts, action checks to me in middle position, and I decide to bet $75 with top pair. The cutoff and under the gun +1 make the call, 3 ways to a turn, which comes a deuce. I am glad it's not a heart. That was the main thing I was worried about. I continue betting for $200. It's very possible I have the best hand now, but I want to charge or deny equity from hands like draws or pair plus draws. Luckily, there's nothing to worry about. Everyone folds, and I take it down. Next, I get ace-king in the straddle, the cutoff limps, the button limps, the small blind and big blind limp. I am definitely raising this one up. I make it $75. Well, nobody cares. The button, small blind, and big blind call were 4 ways to a flop of 7, 8, 9, 2 clubs. Good news, I have the ace of clubs. Bad news, this board sucks for my hand. It sucks for my range. You might be thinking, Brantzen, what crazy shenanigans are you about to get yourself into? Nothing. I know I show you guys a lot of spots where I make moves. Those are the interesting hands, but you have to remember that's not every time, and it shouldn't be. So in a 4-way pot on a board that's terrible for your hand, it's okay to check and then fold when someone else bets. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. It's okay.
It shouldn't just be okay. It's not okay.
Okay, you get it. Just because I'm a vlogger doesn't mean it's all rainbows and butterflies. Moving on, I get pocket 7s in the big blind. The low jack opens to $45. The button calls, I call. We're 3 ways to a flop of 7-5 queen. Okay, so maybe it's a little bit rainbows and butterflies. I check, the low jack bets $90. The button folds, and I take a look at my opponent. He only has $170 behind, so I don't think it's going to be too hard to get all the money in. However, if he's bluffing, I don't want to let him off the hook when I raise, so I just call. The turn is a 3. I check to him. He goes all in for 170. I snap call. River is a 6, and he shows pocket 9s, so very nice. A little later, I pick up ace-jack on the button. The low jack opens to $45, and I'm going for the 3-bet. I make it $135. The low jack calls, heads up to a flop of queen 3-7, 2 hearts. Not my favorite flop. I don't even have a heart, but my opponent definitely could have missed as well. I c-bet $110. Unfortunately, he makes the call, and the turn is a 5, giving me no help. He checks, and well, he could very well have a queen. I think it's time to stop the bleeding. I check back. River is a 9. He checks again. Now I think it's less likely he has a queen, but if I were to bet here, I don't even know what I'd be representing. If I had a queen, I'd most likely have bet the turn, so my story wouldn't make much sense if I bet. I check back, maybe ace high's good, and it is not. My opponent shows pocket 4s. I don't know. It is what it is. Honestly, unless I triple barrel, this opponent might have been able to find the hero call anyway. All right, ace-jack again. Let's win it this time. There's a $20 straddle. The low jack limps. I'm in the cutoff, and I do not limp. I raise it up to $80. $20 straddle calls. The low jack calls, and we're 3 ways to a flop of queen, queen, king. Straddle checks, but the low jack leads out for $120. I'm sitting here with a gut shot. I have position, but I just still don't like it. I fold. Straddle folds. Low jack shows a queen, and we're on to the next one. The lucky snowman. And I need the luck because my stack is looking pathetic.
You mean shrinkage?
Yes! Significant shrinkage.
Shrinkage! We've all been there. Got a big stack, feeling powerful, and then you get caught with your pants down and everyone's laughing. Well, not this time. I opened a $35. The small blind, big blind, and straddle call. We're 4 ways to this flop, and it comes king, queen, 9. Well, if I didn't feel small before, I sure as heck feel small now, because every card is bigger than my 8. Action checks to me, I check, and the turn is a 2. Again, small blind checks, big blind checks, straddle checks. Doesn't make any sense for me to bet. If I didn't have a good hand on the flop, this 2 isn't changing anything. I check. The river is another king. Small blind checks, big blind checks, straddle doesn't check. He bets $60. Honestly, what is he representing here? I think a king would have likely bet the turn, or a straight would have bet the turn. So is he trying to get thin value with a queen? Or is he just trying to take advantage of everyone's weakness? I don't know, buddy. I'm gonna have to see it. I call, the others fold, and he insta-mucks his cards. Okay, who's shrinking now, buddy? Queen 5 of spades in the $10 straddle. There's a $20 double straddle on. The button limps, small blind limps. I hate limping, but it's a good price. I have a suited hand, and the double straddle hasn't been repopping it. I limp. Double straddle checks, and the 4 of us are off to a flop of 6, 10, 7, 2 hearts. I don't have much, and we all check and see a turn, which comes a queen. Now I do have something. The small blind bets $35. He could have a better queen, but he could have a draw or making a move or something. I call, everyone else folds, and we're heads up to a river, which comes the deuce of hearts. Yikes, I don't like it. He bets $50, and what am I even beating here? The flush comes in. He could have a better queen. It's such a cheap price, though. Am I beating any value hands? Are there any bluffs? I'm curious. I call, and he shows 8-5 of diamonds. Heck yeah, I take it down. Send it. We're on a roll. We get Jack 10 off on the button, the low jack, hijack, and cutoff limp. People have been limping with all sorts of garbage, so I raise it up to $65. The hijack and cutoff call were 3 ways to a flop, which comes ace 4 8 2 diamonds. Now, I don't have anything, but this board does hit my range. I should have a lot of strong aces, and my opponents have been limping with trash. I don't often see bet multi-way with nada, but this seems like a decent one. I bet $80, only the hijack calls, and the turn is the queen of diamonds. Hijack checks, and to be honest, this turn shouldn't be that good for me. If I had an ace, I'd probably slow down here since the main draw came in, and go for value on the river if he checks again. So that's what I'm gonna do. I check back, and the river is the king of hearts. Wow, okay, just like that, we have a straight. My opponent checks. I go for value, $200, but he unfortunately folds. He says he missed his straight draw.
I don't even know which straight draw.
Huh?
I said I don't even know which straight draw.
7-5.
That's
7-5.
ugly shit.
Had a good shot.
Anyway, we pick up a monster, deuce 7 under the gun in a bomb pot. Okay, but it is a monster because the flop is deuce 6. That's right, we have trips. Now, I'm going to be checking a lot from early position in a bomb pot. Plus, my hand doesn't need much protection. I check. The middle position player bets $20 into a pot of 200. The cutoff calls. I can't just call. I bump it up to 120. But then the middle position player goes all in for $500. Cutoff folds. I don't love it, but I call. I flip my cards. Board runs out 5-4. He shows queen 6. I think he thought I was making a move, but I was not, and I take it down. Run it back. We have deuce 7 again in a bomb pot again with a monster again because the flop is deuce 3-7. I'm in early position, but I definitely want to start betting, charging weaker hands and draws. I make it $75. Middle position calls, button calls were 3 ways to a turn, which comes a 5. I'm just glad it's not a spade. I think I'm still going to have the best hand most of the time here. So the decision is, how big do I want to bet? I'm between going half pot or 3/4 a pot, but I go half, $200, and middle position calls, button calls. This pot is getting huge. Just no spade. Just no spade. River is the queen of spades. This is bad. Bad news. 2 opponents called by flop bet and turn bet, and now the main draw gets there. This sucks. I check, middle position goes all in for $530. Button thinks for a while, then he calls the 530, and my hand is so pretty, but I can't be good here. I fold. button shows pocket kings, middle position mucks. He said he had ace queen. No, it's a disaster. And just like that, $2,000 that could have been mine. Anyway, I play for another hour and a half, take down some small pots, and eventually rack up and cash out. So it was a pretty good day overall. In like 4 hours, I was in for 1,000, out for 2,013 for a profit of 1,013. A couple notable hands when I had 7 deuce in a bomb pot, and it was deuce deuce 6, and the guy thought I was making a move probably and just ripped it. So that was a huge one going my way. And then the other 7 deuce in the bomb pot where I flopped 2 pair, bet the flop, probably should have bet bigger on the turn, but I used like my standard sizing because I didn't want to deviate to balance when I bluff with it. And then I folded the river when the flush came in, and I would have had the best hand, but it was like, it's so hard to make that call. I don't know what you guys would have done, but anyway, that was my session. Still walked out ahead, which is good. I haven't been playing a lot of live poker. In fact, I've only been playing like once a week because I've been streaming like 3-4 days a week, which, by the way, if you're not following me on Twitch, please do. I get to stream for Global there and play tournaments. It's a bunch of fun. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.